Now available on Kickstarter, John Haynes at Death's Door. The man who rules the world takes on the Greek god of death in this all-new Kickstarter exclusive John Haynes comic book. Put in your pledge and get the standard, variant, or retro covers of John Haynes at Death's Door and other great stretch goal rewards on Kickstarter today. Eric D. July, also known as Young Rippa59, had an extremely successful launch of his Rippaverse line of comics when his crowdfunding campaign for the first issue of his line of Rippaverse comics, Item number 1, raised over $1.2 million in less than 2 days. Now, your Eric D. July spent over $200,000 of his own money to launch this Rippaverse line of comics, and I congratulate him on all of the success he has achieved launching his own line of comics. Now, your Eric D. July has really, again, achieved a major accomplishment as related to launching Item number 1 and raising over $1.2 million, and he has proven that there is a market for black fantasy and black science fiction on the mainstream, and that there is a demand for black fantasy and black science fiction in the comic book industry. And it's good to see that there will be some diversity as related to the emerging market for black comics, because with the success of Black Sands and Black Sands getting over $500,000 on Shark Tank, and this comic getting over $1 million, this practically proves that there is a market for black heroes in the comic book industry. Now, your Eric D. July says that he wanted to launch his own line of comics because he wasn't happy with the products being produced at Marvel and DC, and he really did not like the so-called social justice warriors and the types of so-called woke messages that they were presenting in many of their comics. And in many of his live streams, he did go on to complain about how many of these social justice warriors were really ruining the comic book industry with their poor product, and even worse, their poor customer service with the extremely dysfunctional way many of these individuals attacked people on social media, not understanding how they were alienating their customer base. So your Eric D. July decided to launch his own line of comics in order to compete with Marvel and DC. And while I had my reservations about him spending so much money, it looks like he has had a lot of success with this Rippaverse line on its first day. Now, there are some people who were in the comments section of my video where I talked about your young Rippa59 spending so much money, and some of these people, they were looking to go into ad hominem attacks, all because I wanted to present an objective analysis of spending so much money and the risks involved. Now, these individuals, they got in their feelings about my observations regarding young Rippa spending so much money, and they took things really personal, and that was really something that I had an issue with, because you're taking things personal from someone who has a business background and has done this kind of business. And these individuals, they wanted to go out here and look to start, as I see it, some sort of argument or drama, and I really think that that's not something that is productive as related to the whole business of comics, because the whole goal here for me and your young Rippa is getting quality books in the hands of readers. It's not about you getting personal about a criticism. It's all about trying to get books in the hands of readers, like what I'm trying to do with my own comic, John Haynes at Death's Door. I'm trying to get my book in the hands of readers the same way your young Rippa59 is trying to get books in the hands of readers that are of high quality. So I'm trying to go out here and bring a high quality book to the marketplace, and just the same way your young Rippa59 is doing. And I'm looking for the same support from comic fans out here. And all I want to do is foster a positive relationship with the reader and provide them with a quality experience. And what I want to do again is share quality books with people, books like I used to get back in the late 1980s when I used to collect comic books. And that's the type of reading experience I want to give the reader with John Haynes at Death's Door. Now, some of these people, they want to go out here and claim that Comicsgate was the main reason why your young Rippa's ISOM did so well, and they want to try to say that Comicsgate was the main reason why this book had a successful launch. But from what I read in or listened to in young Rippa's live streams, he really didn't associate too much with Comicsgate. Yes, he did talk about social justice warriors, and he talked about how they were messing up the business of comics, and he also talked about how they were alienating customers, and this is one of the reasons why he wanted to launch his Rippaverse line of comics, was because he was tired of the social justice warriors who were working at Marvel Comics, and he was frustrated with the way that they were just mistreated customers and did not give them a valuable customer experience. He never really talked too much about Comicsgate, and your Comicsgate wants to come in and try to take credit for young Rippa's hard work, and I don't think that that's right, because many in Comicsgate, they really don't really step out here to really help get comics in the hands of readers. Yes, a lot of people in Comicsgate, they talk a good game, but I haven't seen many of those Comicsgate people show up to pledge for John Haynes at Death's Door. I haven't heard from many of these people. I mean, I have contacted some of them on Twitter and Facebook and haven't heard a single thing from them. So I really think it's disingenuous for your Comicsgate to go out here and claim the success for young Rippa's ISOM when they really, as I see it, didn't really do too much. I mean, young Rippa has a big following of his own, and I don't see them as having much impact outside of anything. Again, he did this all on his own with his own following, and he has a pretty big following, but I don't really see it as a victory for your Comicsgate. I walked away from that movement because it basically was a lot of talk and no action, and they really weren't about getting comics in the hands of readers. No, they were a lot about complaining about what was bad in the industry, and then some of them were creating a covert contract where they would promote their own products, and then as they would promote their own products, they would look to try to become the saviors of the industry. And that's not a mindset I have here at SJS Direct. No, I don't really want to go out here and be some sort of savior to the comic book industry and create something like a giant size X-Men #1. No, I just want to create fun comics for readers of all ages, and I want to be able to give somebody a quality comic and a very good story. That's all I want to do as a creator, and that's all I want to do, to go out here and create comic products like I've done with paperbacks for many years. So I'm really happy for young Rippa having all of that success. But right now I'm focusing on trying to build my own success with the John Haynes at Death's Door Kickstarter, and I'm trying to get this book past the second stretch goal. So that's my main goal right now with John Haynes at Death's Door. I mean, this book is fully funded. We've passed the first stretch goal, and I'm trying to work towards getting towards the second stretch goal. I would love to have the kind of funding that your young Rippa has, but I know that I have to take small steps to get there, and it's going to take some time. So as I see it, I'm happy again for young Rippa's success, but right now I'm working on my own success, and I'm trying to get my own comic out here, John Haynes at Death's Door, and I'm trying to reach more readers and get more pledges so that I can go out here and be able to launch other comics like the ISIS comic that I have a script for, and possibly do some other John Haynes comics. So I have other projects that I'd like to do, and I'm still working towards getting those projects done, but I can only get those projects done with the support of people who put in pledges for the Kickstarter. And right now I'm trying to get enough pledges to again go out here and build the audience for SJS Direct Comics, and I'm trying to reach a larger audience. So I'm working hard on my own comics, and I'm working hard to get my own material out here. And I have my own universe, the SJS Direct Universe, which has been running for about 10 years, and I want to reach a larger audience with that universe of books. So I'm working hard every day to get books out there. And again, while I'm happy for Young Rippa's success, I'm working for my own success, and I'm looking for all of those people who were watching the Young Rippa video. If you really like comics, I'm asking you to take a look at John Haynes at Death's Door. All the art is done, all the lettering is done on this book. I just sent the file to the printer, Kablam, to get a test copy. I mean, I'm working behind the scenes to get this book ready to go, and the only thing that I'm waiting to do is to print and ship these books. So I'm asking everybody who says that they love comics to come out here and pick up a copy of John Haynes at Death's Door. And you can pick up your own copy of John Haynes at Death's Door on Kickstarter by putting in a pledge for $5 for a digital or $15 for a paper version. And there are two variant editions, and there's the first stretch goal reward, which is a print by J.C. Shun, and the second stretch goal at $1,600 is a sticker. And I want to give people more other stretch goals, but I can only put more stretch goal rewards on there if you put in a pledge for John Haynes at Death's Door. So if you want to support the John Haynes Kickstarter, you can click the link in the description box. And if you want to learn more about the John Haynes character, you can pick up the John Haynes books: The Temptation of John Haynes, The Man Who Rules the World, John Haynes: A Conversation with Death, John Haynes: Dark Succubus, John Haynes: The Man with Nothing to Lose, and John Haynes: Taking Care of Business. You can pick up all of those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find John Haynes books on Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a wicked werewolf in this action-packed all-new E-Steam series adventure. Get E-Steam Horror of the Hyena Woman in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis Legacy. Sorority secrets of the goddess next door are revealed in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis Legacy in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere.